Today we're going to talk about field prep. There's going to be a lot of DIY, do-it-yourself hunters this fall during this COVID-19 crisis in hunting season. Doesn't matter where you're at, doesn't matter the size of species when it comes to taking a cape off an animal, turning it, fleshing it, salting it, preparing it, separating the antlers if you have to on a moose like this to get it home. We're going to go through the steps it takes and how to do that. Basically with us, we're taxidermists. Most taxidermists have no problem splitting it down the back. It makes it easy for you. Go past the shoulder blades to the center part of the body. From there, just make a circle to where you stop gutting at the sternum on both sides. And then you go to the first joint of the deer and you go right up the back of the first joint. Stay outside of the armpit and then come back to your sternum. Both sides, around the knuckle joint, straight up the hairline, the outside of the armpit, and up to the sternum. All right, so now what we got to do is you got to cape it off the face. So you already have your incision up to its between its antlers, and then you just want to go over to each burr. And the thing is, you want to make sure you leave all the hide with the hide, not at the burr. So you really got to dig in there. You get to the ear, you want to cut the ear right close to the skull. So right there's your ear hole, so you know you're at the skull. Just stay right at the skull. Come back up, get that burr. Find your eye orbit. And just go close to, you want that skin. Now I got a hole. Get your finger through that hole. Now you're pulling the skin. And you don't want to cut that front off. Just put your finger in there, pull on that eye orbit. Now get up here, get it back, pull on the eye, and then straight down. Straight down to the corner of the eye. See that? Right down to the corner of the eye. You see your corner of the eye, get to there, and then you stop. So now you want to turn your knife in and go into the eye orbit and go up. Get your finger right in there, because that's your tear duct. You don't want to cut that off either. So you go into it and up, and then that peels it right to the skull. So now that eye's released, the tear duct's released. There you go. So it's gone. So now you just got to get it down the face. Again, cutting right to the skull. You get here, you see your jowls, cut through them, not the cape. So you're releasing the jaw. The lip skin is what that is. You get your finger in there, go right to the teeth. Inside, go right to your teeth, cut it, right down the face. And you just keep rotating your cape. You just try to keep your lip skin to the face, right to the bone. You can see right where the gum line is when you pull up with your thumb. I'm just cutting that right to it. We're about to release the nose. You're going to start to feel the cartilage of the nose. When you feel the cartilage of the nose, that's when you don't want to skin anymore. You just get to the cartilage there, and then we're going to cut right down through it. Straight down, right around just pretending you got a European mount right there. And just staying right at the nose line. See how there's that skin. The taxidermist needs that skin to tuck. Okay, now all I got is the bottom jaw. If you just take it like this and go right to where the teeth are. So now you have the cape that can legally be transported into any state. The cape, you have to skull cap this, get all the meat off it. All the brain matter's got to be out of it, and all the meat's got to be off it. That's it. All right, we're going to start, and we're going to go through the process of turning, fleshing, and salting a cape. We have mule deer cape. Here at the Wildlife Gallery, got a big team of skinners here. They do thousands of skins a year, turn, flesh, and salt. Cody Gates is the manager of this operation here at the Wildlife Gallery. So whether it's a moose, elk, mule deer like this, or whitetail, it's all the same on turning it. So Cody's going to flip this around after you have it off the head, and he's going to go through it. I want to point out one thing. Whoever skinned this in the field didn't get the tear ducts all the way down. They're wide open. Easy fix really by a taxidermist. We all whine about it, but it can be fixed very easily. But he's gonna go ahead and turn the eyelids. He's gonna turn the nose inside out properly and the lips. And then last, he's gonna turn the ears inside out. And then he's gonna salt it. We're gonna show you that process. That's what you have to do in the field to have a proper cape that's gonna accept a good tan and make a beautiful taxidermy mount.
So we're gonna start here by doing the bottom lip on this mule deer cape. What you're looking for is to get all this heavy meat down off of the chin and the lip line. What you're looking for is to flatten it out so the salt can get in there and penetrate every hair follicle that's on the face. You want to be careful not to cut whisker bulbs and stuff that's important on the facial part of the deer. You want to get it really thin on the lip line. So here we're going to split the septum. You want to be careful not to cut the lip line because you want to save that for your taxidermist so they can tuck it in. So here you're going to go around each nostril nice and flat so that the salt can penetrate and get all the detailed parts of the face saved for a nice trophy mount. After the nose, you're going to go on to the eyelids. And the eyelids, you only have to turn down to the oil gland here. You can see this little line here, which this is the oil gland that holds your eyelashes and everything else into the animal. So next we're on to the ears. You want to get around the earbud as good as you can, nice and clean, kind of up against the cartilage here. You get all the way around it. Be careful not to cut the corner of the ears. You want to get down to the cartilage layer to make it easier to bust, to separate the hair from the cartilage. So once you get it cleaned around here like this, it's okay to go ahead and clean this stuff up so you can stick the ear busters in there and bust the ear. You want to start here at the deep side of the ear. It's the easiest to bust. Don't go all the way up or you'll risk blowing the ear out. Go about halfway like that. Flip the ear back around to the other side and turn it inside out. Now there will be some stuff left over that you have to score and clean up to allow you to properly turn the ear all the way out. So what I recommend is when you get the ear to this point, you grab some paper towel. This will help you with your grip. You always want to keep your ear busters on the inside and on the cartilage side of the ear so you don't risk blowing the ear out. If your busters are on the hair side, which is this side right here, it's easy to blow through and rip an ear out, and it makes it a lot of extra work for your taxidermist to sew those tedious spots of the animal up. So you want to turn the ear all the way inside out so it looks normal size and that all the salt can get in there and lock all the hair into your animal.
As you can see in the field, when you cape something, it's okay if you leave all this meat and fat on there, but it all has to come off before it gets salt. So like what I do in the field is I try to stay close, but I don't care. Then I sit in camp and I start using my knife and I start peeling all this meat and fat off here before I put salt on it. So obviously here in the shop we have a fleshing beam and he's got a fleshing knife so he can go ahead and clean it all off. It's a lot easier here. But the principle's still the same and the result needs to be the same. You need to get rid of all of this meat and fat off it, and it needs to be hide before you put salt on it.
Put some salt in the middle here. You want to start with the face. Make sure you get everything on the face. You want to focus on where you turned it, the lips mostly, behind the ears. If you miss a spot, that is just as good as leaving debris and stuff on the animal. It will not allow the salt to penetrate and lock the hair follicles in. So you want to wipe all the hair off the skin. If there's any hair left on the skin like this here and it doesn't get salted, underneath will look just like raw skin. So you want to make sure that you're really careful and do the job right. This is one of the most important parts of the skinning process, is the salting process.
I want to talk about shipping and preparing antlers to ship that are extra large, like moose and elk. There's a way that you can cut the skull that will help your taxidermist put it back exactly the same way it was before it was cut. And I'm going to illustrate that, which will help you put the antlers together, make them half or less than half the size, strap them up, tape them up, and ship them much more efficient and a lot cheaper. I'm not actually going to cut these, but I'm going to illustrate. If you're in the field and you have your skull off the animal, this is the cut we would like you to make. And we call it a V cut. You come across, doesn't have to be the exact line, but similar to this. And what that allows you to do is when the taxidermist puts it together, it only goes together one way. That gives you the way the antlers set properly on the animal.